I'm Ray.
And I'm Veronica.
And welcome to another edition of Page to Screen from the Chick Lit Book Club podcast.
In celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month, we're talking about Like Water for Chocolate.
Magical realism!
Yes, like so much magical realism.
Over the top magical realism. But I loved it.
And I think we'll talk more. I have an article up. We'll talk a little bit more about what that means. Because I had to look it up.
Because it is specific to Latin American cultures.
It is.
So,
and actually, I didn't realize when I looked it up that I have already read a book with magical realism in it. I just didn't remember, like, at the time, because I read it in high school. So, The House of Spirits by Isabel Allende is considered magical realism, which I just didn't know at the time. Maybe, I'm so sorry to my high school English teachers, but maybe we did talk about this, and I just don't remember 20 years later.
Well, did it make you throw up a little bit in your mouth?
20 years later. Fuck.
Welcome to my world. Would you please have a seat?
Well, let's never talk about this again.
No. So I'm assuming, did you know that this book has been banned in many, I mean, shocker, the South.
I'm shocked.
I know. Look at my shocked face.
This is my shocked face.
I mean, they're still back on Harry Potter. I mean, come on.
The other day I bought a book for my kid, specifically because it was banned by a school board.
Which one?
It's called I Am Human. It's a beautiful book.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I got teary.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, it's a beautiful fucking book about how everyone is human, we're all unique, and
Everybody
we're all
poops.
very important, everybody poops, and how we can make mistakes and hurt people, and how, like, it's a matter of, you know, owning up to your mistakes and apologizing and learning from them.
But I have a question.
And I learned about it on TikTok because a woman was calling out her school board and read part of the book on TikTok.
I have a question for you, though. Did they make their children wear masks?
I don't know. That's an excellent fucking question.
I don't want to co-parent with my government. I don't want to co-parent with my government. Get the fuck. You go to public school? Guess what? You're co-parenting with your government.
The government.
Fuck you! Anyhow. Sorry, if you guys have not seen the Jordan Kepler Fingering the Pulse video where he goes to this, like, I don't know. I don't want to call it hillbilly hoedown in North Carolina, where all of these fucking. I like North Carolina though.
I do too.
But there's lots of. I don't know where this county is and who the fuck knows. It doesn't matter. But it's just a bunch of people, a bunch of hillbillies that, like, he's literally calling them out on their bullshit, like on their hypocrisy every single time. There's like, and what they ended with this woman who believes that Satanism is still, like, alive and well. Well, it's because of Satan. Okay, cool.
That's cool.
You literally believe that Satan exists.
Cool.
Sweet. And that's
she
the reason.
Fighting the literal devil?
I mean, again, if it was Tom Ellis as the literal devil, there's no fighting, baby.
There's no fighting.
Nope.
Happily go to the dark side.
Yep. Take me as I am. Mm-hmm. Just come all over your face.
I did see I did see on Facebook yesterday, I follow, like, you know, NPR and, like, the AP, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one of them, I forget, it may have been PBS, shared an article that was like, study shows that schools that don't have mask mandates have higher rates of COVID. And I shared it, and I was like, in other news, water is wet.
Wow.
Jesus fucking Christ. It's almost like having a mask on keeps your germs to yourself.
Oh, but it bothers, like, but you're breathing out all that, like, bad fumes, is that one fucking bitch said. And then
maybe you don't have a breath mint.
Well, the other so Jordan goes, so what are the health, she's like, it's bad for his health, this one woman, it's bad for my son's health. Well, what are the health issues that he's experiencing? Acne. So you would rather him acne,
and that's a thing. Like, people get maskne all the time. Fine.
But what he goes is acne or a,
ventilator.
Exactly. Or a disease or virus that's going to murder you. I think I'm going to take some acne. I mean, I don't know about anybody else.
You know what I'll do? Wash my face more often.
Right?
Use my snake oils.
Along with my hands.
Along with my hands. Yeah.
Guess what? Don't touch anybody.
Please stop touching people. You know, you shouldn't be touching strangers anyway. So, like,
this is true.
Don't.
Just
especially if they're women. Like, don't fucking touch them.
No.
You don't need to put your hand on my shoulder to move me out of your way. You can just literally find a different way to get my attention.
You know...
You know what we should talk about? Like water for chocolate.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to pull up my Kindle Cloud Reader because I do have like notes, but for some reason I can't.
I did take notes watching because I did not read the book.
I read the book.
Because I was reading a very long book for a different reason this week. You read the book and we both watched the movie last night.
Yes. Okay, so I do have... Okay, sorry. I do have the... I don't have to go in here. Okay, all right. Yes. All right. I'll do it. All right, so we're in the book. And I had so many plans. I'm like, I'm going to make one of the recipes because what's really cute about the book is...
Oh, my God. I was so hungry.
I know. In the book, it has... Each chapter has the recipe for whatever she's making in the book.
Fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is like worth me buying a paperback copy of this book.
You know, but there's so many sites. Just look up, like water for chocolate recipes.
The food looked so good.
I did. The quail was like, I'm like, okay. I mean, the quail and the
as
roses.
He says, it's the nectar of the gods.
Of the gods.
So
then he comes in his pants. Anyhow, so this book was written by Laura Esquivel. And I want to say, so 1995? Yeah, 1995. Yeah.
Was that when the movie was published or when the book was published?
Book was published in 1995.
Okay, got it.
Although, wait, that's paperback. Hold on. Because the movie was like...
The movie was in the 90s. I thought that was 93. Maybe I was wrong. Like Water for Chocolate... Because
I'm just looking at Amazon. So
this is 2002, so that must be like a reissue.
Yeah. Publication date is this October 1st, 1995.
Interesting. But it had to have been before. Maybe that was in the US.
Originally published in 1990. That's
okay,
why.
there we go. Okay.
Yeah. So
it must have been like a paperback issue or like a publication date in the US or something.
Yeah, it was probably originally published in Spanish first.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And then adapted, and then, translated.
Yeah, you translated for English, yeah.
So...
Yeah, I think the paperback came out in 95. I'm looking at the Amazon listing, and that says 1995. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Although I think it probably had come out in hardback before then because it did win some a number of different awards. So this book, the best-selling phenomenon and inspiration for the award-winning film. Earthy, magical, and utterly charming, this tale of family life in turn-of-the-century Mexico blends poignant romance and bittersweet wit. This classic love story takes place on the De La Garza ranch as the tyrannical owner, Mama Elena, chops onions at the kitchen table in her final days of pregnancy. While still in her mother's womb, her daughter-to-be weeps so violently she causes an early labor, and little Tita slips out amid the spices and fixings for noodle soup. This early encounter with food soon becomes the way of life, and Tita grows up to be a master chef, using cooking to express herself and sharing recipes with readers along the way. So the way the book is set up is that, so the chapter begins with the recipe.
I like that.
And then as she's telling you how to prepare it, then she gets into the story. So for each chapter.
I like that.
It's
That's a cool setup.
Because this was, I think, set up, it says in monthly installments. So I think this might have been in the paper.
Oh, that's
or something,
cool.
or like a magazine or something.
That's how Dickens published.
It was, and that's why they're so long, because he got paid by the word.
I actually heard that was a rumor, but like I still like to think of it because his books are so fucking long.
No, I'm pretty sure that's true. Because it was like a penny a word, or half penny a word.
Jesus, motherfucking Christ.
Yeah. Because if anybody's read any Dickens,
it's very lengthy for reasons that aren't.
Fuck me. And yeah, you're just like,
they don't need to be like that.
And they all got names like Chuzzlewit and Figginbottom, and you're like, fuck me, man. No, come on.
I have like a deep love for A Tale of Two Cities. I really do.
I love Little Dorrit, and that's one of the like mostly unknown ones.
I did not read that one. I could not get through Great Expectations, although the movie with Gwyneth Paltrow I did love.
I didn't even try that one. I mean,
fair.
Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol.
Well, obviously, fair. So this one, monthly installments, like maybe weekly installments in the paper. Got it.
So, okay, how do we want to do this? I guess we should just talk about like the plot and then how it kind of. So, right off the bat, I can easily tell you that the book is. I mean, the movie and the book are literally. It's like a passion flick. It's pulled right from it. Because
the dialogue is like spot on.
It's spot on. Which makes sense.
Is the book set up the way that the movie is, where like it starts off with a flashback from like the whole movie is a flashback?
Yes.
Because it starts off with like her niece.
You don't. No, that is not. I mean, it starts off and it starts off with her birth, but it's not. No, you don't know who's speaking. You don't learn till the very end that it's the niece.
Okay. Well, I don't remember in the movie if like you learn if you know it's the niece or not.
You don't. You just know it's
it's
woman.
some woman sitting in a kitchen
in
crying,
a cute polka dot
onions.
dress. Yes.
Yes.
When she puts it on her head, and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Why are you putting an onion on your head? And then I was like, wait, does that work? Right? Like I was like, I'm gonna try that next time. You know.
Oh, there is one part that is different. So, so we've got this family. So you've got Mama Elena, the biggest cunt in the entire world.
Horrible fucking person. This is the
Stab
only
her
time.
In the face. Yeah.
This is literally multiple times last night. I screamed, just kill her. Just kill the mom.
Yeah. Her and the sister. And Roswara.
Yeah, I also said, just kill the sister. It's
not Rosaria, but it's like Roswara.
Yeah, it's like a combination of, something like that. Yeah. I didn't write it down. But
the one, Gertrudis, is fucking amazing.
She's hysterical. The middle sister, love her.
Yeah, who's like supposedly not a full sister. She's supposedly a half. Well, she is a half sister. You find out. Yeah.
Right.
But so, and then there's Tita. Tita is delivered unto the world, crying. And so, and what I did love about that scene is like the water, her water breaking, and then the water just goes down the stairs,
just flowing everywhere,
and it's all tears. And that happens in the book too. And so they use the tears, the salt water, for salt to cook with the rest of the year. Which don't think too much into it.
Yeah, because I definitely did, and I was like,
gross.
Because all I could think was like amniotic fluid. Like that's all I could think about.
I'm not going to eat my placenta. Thank you very much.
That is a thing people do.
Oh, I know.
It is not a thing I did.
It's guess what? It's your journey. You want to do that?
It is your journey, and I reserve no judgment. I actually did look into it because I wanted to know, like, is there any, because I had heard of people doing it, and there's like some people who think there's a lot of benefits from it. I did not. Because I truly did not see enough information that made me think that there were that many benefits.
There's parts of my body I don't feel like I need to consume. I'm good.
Listen, that is an organ that I made and then expelled and didn't need to see again. I literally asked them to not show it to me. I didn't want to see it. Can you just take that shit away? Thank you. Throw it in the biohazard bin or whatever you do with it.
That's up to everybody else. You do what you need to do.
Yeah, you do what you want. Good for her, not for me. I don't care.
Yeah,
it's not my placenta. You do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm not going to go to Texas and make a law that says you can't do it.
No, I don't give a shit what you do with the organ you built on your own. Nope. You do whatever you want.
Nope, but I'm not going to eat my kidney stone. I'm not going to eat,
No, I didn't need to keep that. I kept the baby. That's the best door prize. Someone said that to me when I was pregnant.
I've heard of people
get the best door prize when you leave.
Exactly. The balloons drop and everything. No, I mean, I've heard people making like jewelry out of their kidney stones. I'm like, guess what?
No.
Speaking of expelling things, I'm like, I expelled that thing. I don't want it anywhere close to me again.
I don't know.
Anywho,
so salt water.
Yeah.
And they used the salt to cook for like the next 30 years.
They did. Tita didn't distinguish between tears of laughter and tears of sorrow. For her, laughing was a form of crying.
You said the book is beautifully written.
The book is fucking gorgeous. Okay, so very quickly into the book. This is page 8. And the same with the movie, we found this kid who looked, I have to say, young Pedro looked exactly like old Pedro.
Yeah, he looked exactly like
I was like, the man wonderful casting. And and it was the sweetest thing when he sees Tita for the first time, and she's like 9, 10 maybe. and because he doesn't come to ask her to marry until she's 14. She is 14 in the book.
Okay.
But he's 16 or something.
Mind you, this is the early 1900s. So, like, back then, that's not creepy the way that it is now.
1895.
This is over 100 years ago.
Yeah. So in the look that these two actors share, like his little Pedro and her little Tita, broke my heart. It was just so cute because you could just tell, like, they didn't have to do much to this kid to tell him, like, hey, look like you're in love with her. He looked like he was in love with her. Like, it was so cute. So we start that way. We're like, we know that Pedro is in love with Tita. So Tita is the youngest. So here's the setup for what's going to happen to Tita. Pedro comes to ask for Tita's hand. Pedro and his father, because Pedro has said he's in love with her. He's pretty vocal about how much he's in love with her. Because something happens when she's born. Nacha, who is like the maid, like the cook and everything, she kind of blesses her that the first man who lays eyes on her will love her. Oh, okay. I didn't really catch that in the movie. Did that happen in the movie? Yes, yeah. This when she's cooking, and Mama Elena comes in and tells her why that's never going to happen. Why that's not going to happen, right. So Mama Elena, fuck off into the sunset, okay? Yeah, hope your vagina eats you. I would yeet you into a river. I would yeet her into the sun. Vagina first. Anywho, so page 8 says, I'm just going to read quotes because they're fucking beautiful. So this is Mama Elena to Tita. So, the other thing you need to know is that Mama Elena has been all around town. She's like the town bicycle man. What? No hating, but I mean, you can't be judging other people if you can't judge yourself. Right? So, I don't think this happens. This happens in the movie. It doesn't happen in the book. Tita's father has a heart attack when he finds out that Mama Elena has been spreading it around and that some of his kids aren't his kids. Specifically the middle one. Gertrudis, yeah. So, who's also the coolest one. So, like, fuck yes. So, also, was it jarring to you to see all these random fucking white people in this movie? Because it was to me. Yes. I was like, I'm so confused. I was like, wait, is that person supposed to be Spanish? Because that person looks white as fuck to me. Lily White. Would look like... yep. Like, that person's from Minnesota. Yep. So, he has a heart attack and dies when he finds out. Yep. So, when Pedro comes to... Which is the only time I felt bad for Mama Elena. Because before you find out... Like, this is before I found out about what a bitch she was. Is that, like, all of a sudden she is now left with this newborn. Yeah. And has 2 other kids and she's alone. Yeah. And so I felt bad for her for about 8 seconds. Yep. Just 8, though. Then its sympathy dries up real quick because she says this. If he intends to ask your hand, tell him not to bother. He'll be wasting his time and mine time, too. You know perfectly well that being the youngest daughter means you have to take care of me until the day I die. Never more incentive to kill your own mother. Right there. So what happens is, fucking Cutbag then offers her eldest daughter to Pedro. And Pedro... We're at odds of whether or not this is sweet or not. I am on the it is, but you are maybe not. I am not. Fuck you, Pedro. I know. I think her solution at the end is a lot better than solution. Accurate. Yes. Accurate. But there's so many things that could have happened, and yes, agree. So he agrees to marry Rosario. He thought he was making the right choice. Yeah, Rosuera, so that he can be closer to the woman he truly loves, which is Tita. And he's not fucking, like, quiet about it. He tells, like, literally everybody. Like, Nacha hears him say it, and she tells Tita he's marrying her to be near you because he's in love with you. Right. And at his wedding, he pretty much says, you're the only woman I've ever loved and will ever love. Right. So, yes, it is very sweet, but... Yes, no, it's part of me is like, fucking just... But it's also like, you married my sister, asshole. Like, what? You should have said... I mean, I would have been like, fuck you, no! I don't want to... Yeah, I would have been like, no, I'm not married... Like, I'm not looking for a consolation prize here. I am in love with this one... I'm in love with one of your daughters. I'm not marrying another one. That's weird. Yeah. So,
Fuck you, Mama Elena.
So when they're trying to like come to terms with this, like Tita's trying to come to terms with, okay, my boyfriend is marrying my sister, and then
and her mom makes her do like all of the work for the wedding.
Make the cake, this and that, make the whole meal. So she's upset.
Make her virginal sheet or whatever.
Oh yeah, embroider her trousseau. Mm-hmm. How unfortunate that black holes in space had not yet been discovered, for then she might have understood the black hole in the center of her chest, infinite coldness flowing through it. So she makes the cake, and she's crying as she's making the cake. So she's crying into the cake.
Like into the batter.
Into the batter. And she's crying so much in the book that she's like, that Nacha's like, get GTFO, I can't handle you right now.
You're going to ruin my cake.
So she goes and she finishes the cake. And the moment they took their first bite of the cake, everyone was flooded with a great wave of longing. Everyone starts crying. And that crying then leads to what?
Intensive vomiting into the river.
Into the river. And the worst is Roswetta. She can't handle it. Like she's in bad shape. She's in bad. In fact, she's in bad shape for 3 months. They don't consummate the marriage for 3 months.
In part, probably because Pedro's like, I don't actually want to have sex with you.
Yeah, he's like, I must. Right. So what they don't show in the movie, but when Mama Elena comes in to confront Tita and accuse her and Nacha of ruining the sister's wedding, what Tita says is, nor could Nacha testify on her behalf. On the day of the wedding, when Tita went looking for her, she found Nacha lying dead, her eyes wide open, medicinal leaves upon her temples, a picture of her fiancé clutched in her hands.
Aww.
So Nacha was so upset from the cake that she took her own life. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was not... I didn't really get that from the movie. Son of a bitch. Okay.
Yeah. So,
But also, what a shitty day.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're... Hi, baby. When your boyfriend marries your sister, I mean, it sounds like fucking...
Your boyfriend marries your sister and, like, your nanny kills herself. Like, that's a
sounds
fucking
like
rough day. Oh, and then your mom slaps you in the face.
Yeah. I mean, seriously.
Again, fuck you, Mama Elena.
Maury Povich.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a lot of drama, I will say, in this movie. Yeah. There was a lot of fucking drama.
And stuff where I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, so we'll get to it, but there's a part where she's up in the bird coop naked. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't
understand how you ended up naked.
And honestly, they don't explain that in the book either. I'm just like, okay. I understand your breath, but why take all your clothes off?
Why take all your clothes off?
Why are you... Okay.
Oh, so, that was really sad, though.
So then the next... Okay, so we're about 3 months later, I think. So they decide... So Pedro, who can fucking get it, the guy playing Pedro is
He's real
fucking
cute.
hot.
Real cute.
He prays to the Lord, and like his evening prayers, because she kind of like Roswaria is like, I'm saying her name wrong, and I'm so sorry.
We're sorry to everyone for every name we mispronounce. Driven snow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, whiter than the driven snow, as Ray just put it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she's kind of like hinting, hey, guess what? I'm 3 months in. I'm like, I'm totally back to like being healthy, and he's kind of like, be like. Fucking you.
He's like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, so like he prays to God and he's like, I'm doing this to possibly have another child that will serve you, Lord. And pretty much not for lust, not for love, none of these things. Just to have a child, pretty much. Right. And so they do it. And she decides that she's going to take on more... Roswetta is going to take on more household duties, so she's going to make dinner.
Was so fucking funny.
She decides
I texted you and I was like, she got fucked, and now all of a sudden she thinks she's a fucking chef. Like,
yep.
What the
fuck? He fucked her to be a chef. Fuck those chef abilities right into me.
Oh my god.
So she makes this dinner that no one can fucking handle. Even, what does Pedro say? He's like, for your first attempt.
Yeah. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Like, it's something like that.
Something like that. Not bad for your first attempt.
Because I think Mama Elena is the person who says something like that. For her first attempt at cooking, it's not that bad, right? And he was like, yeah, for her first attempt, it's not that bad.
Yeah, but too bad she gave everyone diarrhea.
Yeah, she did. Everyone was sick.
So then we now have going through what's next? It's the quail. It's the quail next. Okay, so what happens is so with Nacha's death, Tita is now like the head cook. Mm-hmm. And so there's something else that happens. Chincha does something. Chincha, I can't remember. But
okay, so she becomes the head chef.
Right.
And now the asshole sister is pregnant.
Right. Yes. So he brings in a bouquet of roses to lift Tita's spirits and to congratulate her on becoming head chef. Mm-hmm. And
it's been 1 year since you've been head chef. Here's some roses.
And
which, by the way, is his anniversary. Like, if that's the date that she became head chef, it's like also his wedding anniversary.
Pedro, I love you because you're so stupid and I love it. But so part of me, that's why I kind of love Pedro so much, is because he's so blinded by love for her. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't he doesn't hide it. Like, everyone fucking knows. Like,
everyone knows.
Because he gives these flowers to Tita in front of Mama Elena and Rosaria. Like, he's like, he might as well just been like, I love you here. Mm-hmm, and so Mama Elena's like, get those the fuck out of here. No, you can't
throw
keep
those
them.
Away.
And so Tita's like, no, I'm going to make food with them.
Yep.
So she infuses the food with all of her love and her desire for Pedro.
And she makes like some sort of sauce, like
a rose.
Because
yeah,
she hears what's her name again? The
middle sister?
No, the one who dies. The like nanny / cook.
Nacha. Yeah, Nacha.
She hears Nacha's voice in her head that's like, don't throw them away, make a sauce.
Yeah.
So she does.
And
then she uses the rest of the petals as garnish around the plate.
Let's say that it gets everyone fucking hot and bothered except for Rosaria.
Everyone is super horny all of a sudden. And I would just like to say, it's actually about... It was at the wedding that I texted you, and I was like, wait, there was a movie in the 90s that was like this.
Oh, yeah, Simply Irresistible.
Simply Irresistible with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Of course, like the white people ripping off the people of color. But like... That movie, she was a chef, and whatever she felt at the time that she was cooking is what went into her food. And so then whatever people who ate her food felt that as well.
Now I feel really bad because I think that magical crab that's in that movie is Nacha. It makes me sad.
Oh, damn it. Okay, now I need to watch that movie again just to refresh my memory. Okay.
Yep, talk about racist. Anyhow, so...
White people have done some really terrible shit. And
we have.
I'd apologize if I were responsible for most of those things, but I'm probably only responsible for like a tiny amount.
Just a smidgen.
I'm not going to say I'm not responsible for any of it. I don't fucking know.
Do you want me to read?
Yes. Like, what? I don't know what you're about to say, but yes.
Okay. I'm trying to read where to go to in this, where she's talking about the food. What happens? Their eyes met, and what she saw in his made her tremble. She saw all the nights he'd been staring into the fire and longing to have a woman beside him, a woman he could kiss, a woman he could hold in his arms, a woman like her. She got her handkerchief and tried to wipe these sinful thoughts from her mind as she wiped away the sweat. But it was no use. Something strange had happened to her. She turned... This is Gertrudis. Wait.
No, it has to be Tita.
No, because she's like, but it was no use. Something strange had happened to her. She turned to Tita for help. Yeah, so it's Gertrudis.
Yeah.
She turned to Tita for help. But because she's not thinking of Pedro. She's thinking of this Pancho Villa man, one of Pancho Villa's men.
Right. She saw, like, in the town.
She turned to Tita for help, but Tita wasn't there. Even though her body was sitting up quite properly in her chair, there wasn't the slightest sign of life in her eyes. It was as if a strange alchemical process had dissolved her entire being in the rose petal sauce, and the tender flesh of the quails, and the wine, and every one of the meal's aromas. That was the way she entered Pedro's body, hot, voluptuous, perfumed, totally sensuous. With that meal, it seemed that they had discovered a new system of communication in which Tita was a transmitter, Pedro the receiver, and poor Gertrudis the medium, the conducting body through which the singular sexual message was passed. Pedro didn't offer any resistance. He let Tita penetrate to the farthest corners of his being, and all the while he couldn't take their eyes off each other. He said, "Thank you. I have never had anything so exquisite." It was truly a delicious dish. The roses gave it an extremely delicate flavor. I mean, in the movie, this part, the sister is fingering herself at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. She starts to unbutton her shirt.
Yeah.
I was like, are we going to see a tit at the table?
Yeah, I know.
And then her hands.
You see tits later, don't worry.
Oh, you see plenty of tits. You also see a couple bushes. You don't see any
And
wings.
an actual penis. Yes, you do.
When?
At the end.
Oh, I couldn't really see.
Oh, I could.
I was trying to because it was Pedro's.
Because this is when my husband walked by the living room, and I was
Veronica.
just Mr. Veronica, and he walked by, and the listeners won't see it, but what he saw was just me on the couch, mouth agape, hands in the air, like because I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Oh, that was, yeah.
We'll get there, but get there. Holy fuck.
So, yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
We're at the dinner table.
Yeah, we're at the dinner table. So they, everyone comes. Except, even the mom in the book, I talked to at how even the mother was smiling and laughing while she was eating the food because everyone was just overcome. So then after that, you have to remind me because I'm trying to remember what the next part is. Okay. So
she goes to the shower.
Yes, you said you didn't understand so much this because it's more explained in the book.
Well, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
so
why is she running from the dinner table?
So she's consumed with she needed
she needed a cold shower.
But at the same time, the rose petals had because she consumed, they were coming out of all of her pores, and everyone within wherever a range could, the men, the one in particular that she wanted, could smell them and were attracted to them. So
pheromones.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm looking to see if I have this one.
Science, you guys.
It's
fucking science.
Okay, here we go. So he comes and she's in the shower and she comes out completely fucking naked because she knows this dude is here. And he was moved by a powerful urge to arrive as quickly as possible at a meeting with someone unknown.
I'll bet he did.
In some undetermined place, but it was hard to find. The aroma from Gertrudis' body.
I'll bet.
I'll bet. Body guided him. He got there just in time to find her racing through the field. Then he knew why he'd been drawn there. This woman desperately needed a man to quench the red-hot fire that was raging inside of her. A man equal to loving someone who didn't need love as much as she did. A man like him. Gertrude stopped running when she saw him riding towards her. Naked as she was, with her loosened hair falling to her waist, luminous, glowing with energy, she might have been an angel and a devil in one woman. The delicacy of her face, the perfection of her pure virginal body contrasted with the passion of the lust that leapt from her eyes, from every pore. These things and the sexual desire Juan had contained for so long while he was fighting in the mountains made for a spectacular encounter. So she gets on him naked, facing him.
Yeah, on the horse.
Juan had thrown the reins aside and was passionately kissing and embracing Gertrudis. The movement of the horse combined with the movement of their bodies as they made love for the first time at a gallop and with great deal of difficulty.
Yeah, I would fucking imagine so.
I'm looking to see if there's any. During his relations with Rosuela. Okay, so at the same time, Pedro and Tita are watching this whole thing. They're watching her sister get fucked on a horse as she's riding away. So During his relations with Rosario, what was Rosara, I don't know. I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, he never had the desire to see her body or caress it. They always used the nuptial sheet, which revealed only the necessary parts of his wife's body. He wanted to study, examine, investigate every last inch of skin on her lovely, monumental body. Surely she'd look like Gertrudis. They weren't sisters for nothing. So sister gets fucked on a horse by a stranger, and it happens.
I will say in the movie that was not like the whole sex on a horse thing was not really portrayed.
she just
jumps
off.
on the horse and they leave.
But she is fucking naked as the day is long.
She is
you
naked.
See her, her hoo-ha.
Naked as the day she was born.
Yep, it was her one suit. My other suit that I wore when I was a naked baby.
A naked baby.
You mean birthday suit?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yes, that's what I meant.
It's better when Ted says it's funnier. Anyhow,
damn it, so funny, Ted Lasso.
So then, so Gertrudis is gone. I'm trying to remember the next part.
I don't know. I mean, it's not long after that the baby comes, right?
Yeah. So the other thing you need to know, but I don't know if they talked about it in the movie, was yes, Gertrudis was like excited about leaving, and she left with this. She ends up working at a brothel.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gertrudis was working in a brothel on the border. Mama Elena burned Gertrudis' birth certificate and all of her pictures and said that she didn't want to hear that name ever mentioned again. Because Mama Elena's a fucking whore. Yep. Anywho, I think it's funny that I'm calling the one person who's not a whore. Well, I mean, by standards of today's society. They are called sex workers and they should have insurance. Anywho.
And should not be illegal. If you're going to sell your body, who cares? Whatever.
It's up to you. It's your,
as long as it's consensual, whatever.
Right? Somebody has to do it, and you should have complete health care to do it. Anyhow, so I'm going through to see what the next part is. So the baby comes. Okay. And that is, what the hell's the kid's name?
I don't remember. That was rough.
Okay, so there's this part. So what's happening though is right before, there's this part where she's making tortillas.
God, I'm so hungry.
And this is fucking hot. So she's grinding. And it happens in the movie. She's grinding tortillas without a bra on and this very loose shirt. Tita looked up without stopping her grinding, and her eyes met Pedro's. At once, their passionate glances fused so perfectly that whoever saw them would have seen but single look, a single rhythmic and sensual motion, a single trembling breath, a single desire. They stayed in this amorous ecstasy until Pedro lowered his eyes and stared steadily at Tita's breasts. She stopped grinding, straightened up, and proudly lifted her chest so Pedro could see it better. His scrutiny changed their relationship forever. After that penetrating look that saw through her clothes, nothing would ever be the same. Tita knew through her own flesh how fire transformed the elements, how a lump of corn flour is changed into a tortilla, how a soul that hasn't been warmed by the fire is lifeless, like a useless ball of corn flour. In a few moments' time, Pedro had transformed Tita's breasts from chaste to experienced flesh without even touching them. If it hadn't been for Chencha walking in, back from buying some chile anchos, who knows what would happen between Pedro and Tita. I'm telling you, I mean, like, it is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like, I mean, you think about it, like, how would you relate that? You just related a ball of dough to someone's breasts. And it's like, how is that? I guess not hot. And it's like, actually, it's kind of fucking hot when you think about, like, if someone was molding that dough, like they were, like, touching your breast. Oh.
I mean, it is described as, like, kneading a breast. So.
Yeah. So the baby comes. Oh, well, there was difficulty in the baby arriving. But what happens, so they go to get this doctor, Dr. Brown, who looks suspiciously like someone we know.
Yes.
Who is just as creepy as Dr. Brown in the book kind of looks. Not gonna lie. Never wanted to see him naked. Anyhow, no.
We did see him topless once.
Yeah, that was what made me never want to see him naked. Anyhow. It's like, oh, that's dried up down below. Okay, well, I'm good. I am good here. Next! Thank you, next!
Thank you. Next. In the words of Queen Ariana Grande. Thank you.
Next. Yep. Yep. Man-child. Anywho. So they go to get John Brown. And in fact, it was so funny in the movie because Pedro says to Tita, the baby's coming. And she's like, well, you better hurry up because I got shit to do. Pretty much like.
She's like, okay, go get the doctor, but I got shit to do. So
yeah,
like,
I don't got time for your fucking wife, bitch,
hurry
okay?
up.
Yeah, that's your wife. That's your sperm
not
in
my
there.
problem.
Yep. Married people problems. So she's praying and Roswera is not like the baby's not coming. So she decides that she's going to deliver the baby herself, and she does. She fucking does, and it's a miracle, and all this wonderful stuff. So Dr. Brown gets there, and he's like, "Well, hey, who's this lovely lady?" Mm-hmm. And because she was also breech, it was a difficult birth, and she was still able to, without having any experience delivering babies.
She prayed to Nacha.
She prayed to Nacha. Nacha, made it happen. Make it happen. So Mama Elena convinces Doc Brown. I'm going to call him Doc Brown. Doc Brown, to check in on Roswera like twice a day. I was like, does he got time for that? Doesn't he have other patients?
I would imagine he did not have time for that.
No, but he sees Tita, and boy, does he have time for that. Mm-hmm. And so the baby comes, and I'm trying to see what the name of the fucking baby is.
I don't remember.
I want to say it's Roberto.
Oh, yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, so Roberto comes, and at the same time, what's her face? Roswera can't provide milk.
She's like, that. It was a very traumatic birth, which it wasn't portrayed to me like watching the movie only. The fact that it was a traumatic birth was not, I didn't get that until they talked about it afterward.
Yeah, because it's in the book, it is. And well, that would make sense. It's kind of graphic to have to have on screen, so I can get it. But so she can't produce milk. So they're having a wet nurse come, and as the wet nurse is coming, gets accidentally shot in the head.
Yeah.
It's like everything in this book where they're just like, so and so's dead. They're just like, she got shot in the head and is dead. Mm-hmm.
On her way here, she was shot in the head and died.
Yep.
Okay.
So suddenly, Tita is just start to produce milk, and so she starts nursing Roberto. So, but the only people who know that she can are Pedro. That's it. So Pedro and she make it like so that no one else will know. Because what she does is she kind of tells Mama Elena like, oh yeah, no, the baby took some broth and it's completely fine and it's great. And so from the very beginning, where she even says in the book so many times like, I should hate this fucking baby. This is my love of my life's child with someone else, my stupid sister. I should hate this baby, but I don't because I delivered it. And she so
now I'm keeping it alive.
And I'm keeping it alive.
Right.
And so
also, yay for breastfeeding scenes in movies.
Yeah. Well, so that's one big thing. I don't know if I don't think I highlighted it, but Pedro gets pretty stoked when he first sees her like breastfeeding because he's like, I get to see a tit. I get to see my love's tit. Yeah. And basically. He's pretty excited about it the whole time. And, I guess small things in life, I guess.
I guess.
So, Mama Elena, and all along this whole time, Mama Elena, she knows what's up. She knows that, like, because they haven't had sex, but they've been, like, he's stopped her a number of times, like, cornered her, and they fucking made out real hot. And I think Tita got to the point where she's like, I don't fucking care. I don't care if it's wrong. I love this man, and I'm just gonna go for it. So, but Mama Elena knows, and so she's just everything in her power to like keep them separated. So they decide to go visit relatives and honeymoon or something like that with the baby in Texas. I believe is where they go.
Oh, well, in the movie, the mom just fucking sends them away.
They decide, I think. I don't believe it's like
in the movie. It made it seem like she was like, "Stay away from Pedro, or I am going to send them away to visit people in Texas, like visit my cousin or whatever."
I think they decide just to go, and this is where it gets kind of. I'm trying to remember how everything goes in this part.
This gets intense.
It gets really intense because then there are federales that come to the ranch, and Mama Elena, as much of a cunt as she is, and yes, I keep saying that word and I don't care.
No, she's terrible.
God, there's a big fly and I'm trying to kill it. It like literally ran. It flew towards my face. I've been trying to kill this thing for fucking days. Even my boss on Zoom, she's like, "Jesus Christ, that's the biggest fly I've ever seen." And it just came towards my face, and I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!" Sorry, I have a fly sweater right here. That's the reason. I hope I killed it. I hope I Oh no, he's gone. Unless he went somewhere to die. No, anyhow, it was big. It was this big. Anywho, so
big is a relative term.
Big in terms of flies. I bet you like it could probably like if it's like picking up like a Kleenex box. It's like doing a overhead press, and I'm like, that's a big fly. It's a powerful fly. So, during it was actually like in the I want to say the first communion or the baptism party. I think it's the priest that says to Mama Elena, "You need to have a man here." So it's like, as much as she's a fucking cunt, she's actually running this. She's running the ranch.
Running the ranch, right?
And so I guess good on her for that. Right. But so the federales are the ones that are like, I couldn't tell who was the bad guys and who were the good guys because I thought it would be Pancho Villa's men, but I guess it's not. It's the federales. I don't know. To me, there's not much more description in the book, so I'm sorry that I don't know Mexican history. Now I feel awful.
Mexican history to understand what's going on right now.
I feel really bad. So anyhow, during this time, there's a band of men that do come to and like threaten Mama Elena and the ranch, and she has a gun, and she's pretty much like, GTFO. No, we ain't doing this. Mm-hmm. And so they do leave her, but they steal some food, they steal chickens, and they steal some stuff, but they do leave. But then, in like other fashion in this book / movie, Chencha just comes in and was like, "Yeah, Nicholas said that Roberto, that the child is dead." Yeah. And they're like, "Who? What child?" They're like, "Your grandson."
Yeah.
What? I guess he wouldn't eat, or the food he had didn't like killed him. No one could explain why, and so Tita is fucking devastated, and Mama Elena's like, "You need to make sausages. Continue making sausages." Yeah. And this happens in the book too, like pretty much like, fucking do your job. And she's like, "I hate you. You killed him." She pretty much says, "You killed him, and I will never forgive. Yeah, I will never forgive you for this." And the same thing happens in the movie. The same in the book is that she hits her with a wooden spoon in the face.
Yeah, she does.
Breaks her nose. She breaks her nose, and so Tita.
That wasn't clear from in the movie, but
yeah, because she went. So she then runs up to the what's it called?
I forget what they call it. It looks like
it's called a dovecote or something like that.
Oh, a dovecote.
Dovecote. Yeah,
dovecote or something like that. Like where birds hang out, it looks like.
Yeah, it's like the aviary up in the thing, and then she's got feed for them. So she goes up there, and Mama Elena
come down.
No, Mama Elena tells Nicholas to take the Nicholas is like a farmhand. Just Nicholas, take the ladder away. She can stay up there till tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. But then she just doesn't come down.
She doesn't, and so Mama Elena sends for Doc Brown because she's like. Then she's gonna be hot. She's gonna be institutionalized.
Yeah, she literally says like, "Why isn't she?" She asks, "What's the Checha? What's her name?" I forget. Chencha said like she's like, I don't know. She's just not coming down. She's like, seems like she's crazy. And so Mama Elena is like, well, if she's crazy, she can't stay here because we don't have time for that bullshit. And so she just fucking sends her to, like, the crazy house is what they call it.
Here's a quote about, this is around the same time. Unquestionably, when it came to dividing, dismantling, dismembering, desolating, detaching, dispossessing, destroying, or dominating, Mama Elena was a pro.
God, what a bitch.
Yeah, so she goes to Doc Brown. Doc Brown's like, yeah, totally take her. It's fine.
Yeah.
But he doesn't take her to the sanitarium. He takes her to his house, to his own home, to take care of her because her nose is broken. She's laying naked in bird feces. She literally has bird feces in her hair. In the book, it talks about how she has bird feces on her body and in her hair. And she's mute. She will not speak. Mm-hmm. So so he takes her home. He cleans her up and sets her nose. And she's with him for a good amount of time because it's like 3 months and she still hasn't spoken. And I still don't understand the thing about the matches.
Yeah. It was really, I don't know. It felt like that was a moment where I felt like that was a really beautiful metaphor. He's telling her she hasn't spoken in months. She will not speak to him. She's not eating. And he says to her, he's like, I forget what he's doing. Is he like, he's cooking or he's doing some sort of science experiment. He's doing something.
Yes. Well, and
some sort of science experiments involving, or he's making matches or something. Is that what he's doing?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So he's making matches. And he, there's something to think about, like, now in 2021, like, if we need matches, we fucking go to the store and we buy them. But, like, in the early 1900s, if you needed matches, you would just fucking make them.
Yeah.
So he's making matches. And he's talking to her about his grandmother. Someone told him that we all have matches inside of us.
Okay. So at the beginning of this chapter, there's a recipe for making matches.
Oh, of course there is.
As you see within our bodies, each of us has the elements needed to produce phosphorus. And let me tell you something I've never told a soul. My grandmother had a very interesting theory. She said that each of us is born with a box of matches inside us, but we can't strike them all by ourselves. Just as in the experiment, we need oxygen and a candle to help. In this case, the oxygen, for example, would come from the breath of the person you love. The candle could be any kind of food, music, caress, word, or a sound that engenders the explosion that lights one of those matches. For a moment, we are dazzled by an intense emotion. A pleasant warmth grows within us, fading slowly as time goes by, until a new explosion comes along to revive it. Each person has to discover what will set off those explosions in order to live, since the combustion that occurs when one of them is ignited is what nourishes the souls. That fire, in short, is its food. If it doesn't find out in time what will set these explosions, the box of matches dampens, and not a single match will ever be lighted. I mean, it comes into play later.
Yeah, it comes into play later.
So she finally speaks after 3 months. And all along at the same time, what's happening at the ranch is... So this is what I said was a little different in the book than it was from the movie. So at the ranch is happening is these federales or whoever it is, the bad guys, come in and they're pretty much done with Mama Elena, and so they end up raping Chencha and paralyzing. Paralyzing Mama Elena. So
okay?
Yeah, so this is what's different, is that she's paralyzed. Like, she can't have any... And so, pretty much what happens is Chencha asks for Tita to come home and help her.
Okay.
And so, at the same time, you have an idea that Doc Brown is, like, fucking...
He clearly has feelings for her.
And she does for him. Like, she does love him. Because, where she's at is, like, in fact, he asks her to marry him, and she says, fuck yeah, I'm gonna. Because what the hell does she have for Mama Elena, fuck it. And then she,
Right.
then Chainsaw comes and is like, hey, you need to come home and help me take care of Mama Elena. So
I'm kind of glad she died in the movie rather than...
Yes.
Okay.
So she comes home and she tries to cook for Mama Elena, but everything that she cooks tastes bitter to Mama Elena. So she refuses to eat in. Yeah, she refuses to eat in her food.
Please die.
Well, she lasts about a month and she does finally pass away.
Good.
And
it sounds so terrible.
I know. No, I fucking hated her. Like
So
I think I
terrible.
texted you. I was like, I want to throat punch most of the women in this movie.
Yep.
Mostly just two. So then upon her death, she's cleaning out Mama Lena's room and her body, getting her ready for burial. Excuse me. And she finds a key. And the key is to a box of letters and kind of like trinkets. And she puts the letters in order and she discovers a love story between Mama Elena and her true love, who is Gertrudis' father, who is black. And
okay.
Yeah. And because they say that I'm not going to use the word, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he was biracial. So,
Okay.
I'm assuming probably black and Mexican. And then so, Gertrudis is then, yes, that's her real father.
Okay. Got it.
Why in the movie she looked a lot different than her two sisters.
She does look different than her two sisters. Yeah.
Yeah. There's part of Tita that has remorse. She says, I have remorse not for Mama Elena, but for the Mama Elena that loved this man.
Sure.
And so at the same time, then the second cunt comes home with Pedro and is pregnant again. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Great.
Thanks. And at the same time, Dr. Brown gives Tita this giant fucking ring.
Yeah,
gorgeous
it's beautiful.
ring. It's beautiful.
It's not a diamond. It's
a ruby, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she accepts it, and Pedro's pissed. And she's like, "What do you
get
expect?"
to be pissed.
Exactly. She's like, "What do you expect, dude? My sister is fucking knocked up with your jizz, dude. Like these are your swimmers.
Your second one.
Your second one. Yep. Let's keep this one alive, all right?"
Ooh, dark.
I know. So Roswara, she has the baby. This time there's no issues. But immediately Tita's in love with this baby. Mm-hmm. Esperanza, which I was like, oh, God, I love the name.
Oh, also, she convinced her to not name her. The sister wanted, is this the same in the book? The sister wanted to name her Tita.
Yes.
Because she will have to stay and take care of the mother until she dies. And she will never marry and all of that bullshit. And so Tita is like, no, I don't like that idea. Please don't do that. Name her Esperanza. I like that name.
And so FYI, Doc Brown, this would be the second marriage for him. Like, he has a child.
Oh, right. He has a child already.
Alex.
It seems like his wife passed.
Yes.
Okay.
And so Alex is already taken with Esperanza. And
Immediately.
Immediately. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm going to marry her. And, okay, so it says, Papa, I want to get married too, just like you, with this little girl. They all laughed at that. But when Rosara explained to Alex that he couldn't because this little girl was destined to take care of her until the day she died, Tita felt the hair stand on end. Only Rosara could have thought to perpetuate such an inhumane tradition. If only Rosara had burned her mouth to a crisp, and that those words would never have leaked out, those foul, filthy, frightful, repulsive, revolting, unreasonable words. Better to have swallowed them and kept them deep in her bowels until they were putrid and worm-eaten. If only she could live long enough to prevent her sister from carrying out such a dire intention. So,
it was their confrontation. The two of them finally kind of have it out.
Yeah, so that's
when I was like, just kill your sister.
Just fucking kill her.
Just fucking kill your sister. She's terrible.
So, this is also the time where Pedro and Tita fucking do it for the first time.
Yeah, they do. Finally.
And they finally do it in the dark. Like, you don't see it.
You
it's
don't
like
see
in
it,
the dark. Yeah. And she thinks she's pregnant.
Right.
And so Doc Brown's coming back. Like, they're supposed to be, like, setting up, like, dates for shit for the wedding. And she just is like...
Which is Pedro's responsibility at this point as, like, the head of household. She almost got the fly.
I did.
Is like the head of household because he's married to the oldest sister and Mama Elena is dead. He has to approve of the wedding date.
Right. And I'm trying to find, because it happens, he finds out about the baby exactly the same way as he finds out in the book, or in the book as the movie. I'm trying to find out.
Because the middle sister comes home.
Yeah, because of the funeral. So she's already home.
Right.
I'm trying to find it really quick.
Is it their mom's funeral? Is that why she comes home?
Yes.
Such a happy occasion.
Right? Well, I mean...
If you've not watched the movie or read the book, you probably think that we sound like fucking terrible people. But as soon as you read the book or you watch the movie, which, by the way, is on Amazon Prime, I think also on Apple TV, there are multiple ways you can find it. I think, what's the website you gave me? JustWatch.com?
Yeah.
JustWatch.com. You can find, like, where everything is, how you can watch something streaming. Anyway, if you watch or read, you will understand that Mama Elena is just a fucking terrible person. And you will also be rooting for her death.
Yep.
She's awful. I mean, I've never felt that way about a character in a book or a movie. Like, hoping that this person dies.
Right.
I mean, I can't say that. I will say that I probably in, like, John Wick. I felt like, God, I hope you die for killing that dog, you know? But
I couldn't even make it, Pat. I was like, no. When
that was rough.
I knew when that puppy showed up, I was like, I looked up, like, does the dog die? And they're like, it dies in a horrible fashion. I'm like, I turned it off. I'm like, no.
I know. It's awful.
But, I mean, it is Keanu Reeves, and I fucking love him, but...
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I love a good revenge plot, though.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck, that's not it. Oh, that's where they do it.
There's a lot of gasping.
There's a lot of gasping. I mean, I would too. But he's gorgeous. Anyhow, I gasp a lot.
I love you.
Oh my God. God bless America. I can't find it.
What are you looking for?
Oh, here it is. Okay. Wait, no, that's not it. Oh, fuck. I'm trying to find
the clitoris.
I'm trying to find that. That too.
I'm sorry, but you were like, I'm trying to find it. God damn it. Oh, I found it. No, God damn it, I didn't. I mean, honestly.
I'm trying. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay, finally fucking found it. Okay, I'm finding where it happens.
What he said.
Did you ever watch South Park, Bigger, Lugger, and Uncut?
Yes. Of course I did. I saw it in the theaters.
The big giant clitoris.
Blame Canada.
Oh, child. God, I fucking love South Park. Okay, so...
Sorry.
Gertrudis heard this all calmly, not phased, because she tells Gertrudis, dude, knocked up. Pedro's the dad. Mm-hmm. In this revolution, she had seen and heard worse things than this, because they don't go too much to it in the movie, maybe a little bit, but she's part of the Mexican Revolution.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She goes and fights.
Yeah,
and tell me, does Rosario know yet? No, I don't know what she would do if she learned the truth. The truth. Look, Tita, the simple truth is that the truth does not exist. It all depends on a person's point of view. For example, in your case, the truth could be that Rosario married Pedro, showing no loyalty, not caring a damn that you really loved him. That's the truth, isn't it? Yes, but in fact, she is his wife, not me. What does that matter? Did the wedding change the way you and Pedro truly feel? No. To tell the truth, no. Of course not, because this love is one of the truest loves I've ever seen. Pedro and you have both made the mistake of trying to keep the truth a secret, but it will come out in time. And so she keeps talking and blah, blah, blah. She's like, Gertrudis, with the practiced eye she gained on the battlefield, made a strategic estimate of the time it would take Pedro to step over the threshold of the door so that at the precise moment she could fire these words. I think you should tell Pedro you're expecting his child. Mm-hmm. A perfect hit. Bullseye. Pedro struck down. Let the sack fall to the floor. He was dying. He let some of the sack fall. Okay. He was dying of love for Tita. Startled, she turned to discover that Pedro was looking at her, almost in tears. Pedro! What a coincidence! My sister has something to tell you.
What fortunate timing!
She's got a butt in the oven. So Pedro is. I have to say, I feel so bad. I do feel bad from this point because he's like, "Let's run away," and she's like, "We can't. You have a child."
Right. Like, how are we supposed to feasibly do that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, in all honesty, he could have taken another child and been like, this is mine. By law, this is my child. Right. And just been like, peace out, we leaving.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm out.
I wouldn't have blamed him on this front. I've been like, she's a bitch. You just leave her ass. Yeah. But he doesn't, obviously. But he starts getting upset because Doc Brown's coming back, and she's like, I
can't marry him.
Well, first she says that, and then all of a sudden, he's like, you need to tell her that you're not marrying him. He's like, I can't tell him that. He's like, why? She's like, because, he's like, you're going to have my baby. She's like, not anymore. Not pregnant.
Right, yeah, she gets her period. It turns out that she was late. She was late. Yeah.
So,
or irregular or whatever. Like, she wasn't actually pregnant.
But she does decide that she still can't marry Doc Brown. Yeah. She just can't. It wouldn't be fair to him. It wouldn't be fair to her, because she's still in love with Pedro. Right. So,
and in the movie, she does tell him, like, I've been in love with someone else my entire life.
Yeah.
And he knows. He's like, well, it's Pedro.
Yeah. Right. I mean, everybody who's around them can see it. I mean, it's, so then.
Even the sister.
The sister, because then this is where we have the confrontation. And the sister, I want to keep talking a little bit because I want to find that scene. Because it's like, I just want to rip her face off. I want to rip the sister's face off so fucking hard in this point.
There's a point, I think, after the first baby where the sister comes to... Is it after the first baby or is it after the second one? Where... So it turns out after the second one, the sister cannot have children anymore.
Right.
That birth was like far more traumatic. She was premature, all that kind of stuff. And the sister comes to Tita and says, like, Pedro won't touch me anymore. And I think it's because I am very flatulent. And I'm burping a lot. And
it's right, because after she
my
says
breath
that,
smells.
After she says that Esperanza is never going to marry, Tita's like, well, you can go fuck yourself. And like, whatever, the hatred and that she has for her sister in that moment, she puts in the food. Right. So everything she eats gives her
horrible gas.
Like, seriously, I was at first going, is that a fart? Is that a fart?
At one point you would go, has the farting started yet? And I was like, no, question mark. And then about 5 minutes later, I was like, oh yes, the flatulence begins.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so so they're pretty much like at this point, Pedro and Rosada are like estranged. Like they all live on the same ranch, but I don't think anybody's like Tita and Pedro are not like, they were having like hookups, but now they're not hooking up anymore. But Tita is like obsessed with Esperanza. Like that's in her mind is her baby. She's the one feeding her, making sure she's like alive, pretty much, because Rosaura is just pooping her brains out and farting her brains out. So, but she comes to her at one point and she goes, I think you and I are overdue for a talk, don't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I certainly do.
Yes.
We have been ever since you married my boyfriend. Fine. If that's what you want, let's start there. With your wrongful claim to a boyfriend, you had no right to have a boyfriend. Says who? Is that according to you? To Mama or to you? According to family tradition, which you are breaking. fuck you. And I'm going to break it with several more times if I have to, as long as this cursed tradition doesn't take me into account. I had the same right to marry as you did, and you had no right to stand between two people who are deeply in love. Not that deeply. You saw how quickly Pedro switched to me at the least opportunity. I married him because that's what he wanted. If you had the teensiest strap of pride, you would have put him out of your mind forever. Well, for your information, he married you just so he could be near me. He doesn't love you, and you know that perfectly well. Look, and this is where I think Rosario was like, oh, fuck. Did I miscalculate this? Because she goes, look, if it would be better if we don't pick up the past. I don't care what Pedro's motives were in marrying me. Oh, really? Because you just did a couple of sentences ago. The fact is he did. I'm not going to let you two make a fool of me. Do you hear that? I'm not allowed to let you. And pretty much the rest of the conversation goes like, I don't care what happens with Pedro. That baby is like that's who I care about.
Yeah.
And Rosario is like, well, you're never going to see her again. Like you have no say to her, which I was like, then fucking leave. Then leave.
Right.
But she doesn't. And this is what, I mean, it breaks off. It's kind of, the only thing I have to say is it ends really quickly, abruptly. Like,
yeah, it does.
And the book is like the same way. It's like they have fights all through Esperanza's life about this whole thing. Pedro and Tita are not really together this whole time. They're all on the ranch together. They share moments, but they're not. And Esperanza falls quickly in love with Alex when she sees him as an adult.
Yeah, there's like a big jump.
Yes. Yeah. And so she makes food for the wedding, and Tita does.
In the movie, you don't know which wedding they're making food for. In the wedding, I kind of like got an open-ended thought process between like I thought it was very possible that Tita was marrying Doc Brown.
Oh. I guess I knew that it was, I mean, I knew just because of the book, but
so in the movie though, like the last conversation that Tita and Doc Brown have is like, he's saying to her like, look, if you don't feel like you can marry me because you're still in love with Pedro, then I'm not going to force you.
Right.
But if you, like, I will love you for the rest of my life. So if you want to marry me, I am more than willing.
Right.
And then they like she cries and they hug, and then all of a sudden they're making food for a wedding day. So like in the movie, I thought that maybe Doc Brown was marrying Tita.
Yeah.
But really not. Like it's like a, I don't know, 18-year gap or something like that. There's a huge jump.
How many is it? Is it 16 years?
I don't know.
I think maybe
I don't
13.
know that it was specified.
No, it's maybe 16. I'm looking to see, 'cause I don't know if actually Rosario dies.
In the movie, she does.
She does, but I'm trying to remember if she does in the book or not. Because it does jump really quick.
Because the movie, the wedding that they're preparing food for is Esperanza's wedding. Right.
I'm looking real quick. So anyhow, yes, they're making food, and at first Pedro didn't find it odd that he could hear Rosario breaking wind even with the door closed. Maybe it was the engine of one of those neighbors' motor cars, but motor cars didn't produce such a nauseating smell. Yes, she's dead. She does die. So it's pretty much the same as in the book, in the movie.
Got it.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I kind of towards the end I started skimming because I was like, I gotta get this done. So they do, because we need to get to this ending because holy fuck. So they have this wedding
so
and
intense.
They're making all this food and everyone is fucking horny from these chiles. They're like,
oh yeah,
even the priest like goes off with somebody. Do you notice that when they're leaving? He's like,
oh right, yeah, you're right, yeah.
So
it was funny though, like the chiles.
They looked really good.
They did look delicious. There's pomegranate seeds on them. And I kind of wondered if it was like a metaphor for blood, like virginal blood.
It could have been.
Of course, it could just be the recipe. But also I was like, I want to eat them so bad. Like,
oh my
I was
God,
just
they look so
fucking hungry.
So, and everyone's like
hungry now. God damn it.
They're coming all over these fucking chiles, like, I mean, before and after.
There was literally one chili left. That's why I thought that. Like, there was a singular chili left.
And a fly landed on it. I was like, I'd still eat it. It was the stem. It landed on the stem.
It's fine.
If it was that big fly that was here, it would have lifted that fucking chili up with its one leg. Anyhow, so Doc Brown leaves, and this is like liberation. This is like for Pedro and Tita, because
they can finally be together.
They can finally be together. And he actually says while they're dancing, like, he wants to have another child. Like, he wants to have a baby with her. And he's like, it's not too late. And she doesn't answer, but she just smiles. And you kind of get an idea. I mean, she's only, like, probably, 32,
30s.
maybe? Yeah.
Maybe
so
late
probably,
30s? Like, I mean...
maybe not even that, because she was 18. She was 16 when... Oh, yeah, probably late 30s. Also, the age makeup made me laugh so hard in this movie, because it was just like, Pedro had this interesting mustache with looks like they put baby powder in, and so did Doc Brown. Anyhow, so then they start having sex.
Oh, God.
Do you want to...
Spoil it. Like, if you don't want to know the end of this movie or / book, stop listening.
Okay. I'll read what's in the book.
Please do.
Pedro placed Tita on the bed and slowly removed her clothing piece by piece. After caressing each other, gazing at each other with infinite passion, they released the passion that had been contained for so many years. The striking of the brass headboard against the wall and the guttural sounds that escaped from both of them mixed with the sound of 1,000 doves flying free above them. Some sixth sense had told the doves that it was time to flee the ranch. With them fled all the other animals, the cows, the pigs, the chickens, the quails, the lambs, the horses. Tita was aware of none of that. She was experiencing a climax so intense her closed eyes glowed, and a brilliant tunnel appeared before her. She remembered then the words that John had once spoken to her. If a strong emotion suddenly lights all the candles we carry inside ourselves, it creates a brightness that shines far beyond our normal vision, and then a splendid tunnel appears that shows us the way that we forgot when we were born and calls us to recover our lost divine origin. The soul longs to return to the place it came from, leaving the body lifeless. Tita checked her passion. She didn't want to die. She wanted to explore these emotions many more times. This is just the beginning. She tried to still her breathing, and only then did she hear the flutter of wings of the last doves as they flew off. Apart from the sound, she heard only the hearts beating fiercely. She could feel Pedro's heart pounding against her chest. I'm sorry, I'm going to cry. This part is really... Oh. Suddenly the pounding ceased. A mortal silence spread through the room. It took her but a moment to realize that Pedro was dead. Oh my God. Oh. With Pedro died the possibility of ever again lighting her inner fire. With him went all the candles. She knew that the natural heat that she was now feeling would cool little by little, consuming itself as rapidly as it lacked fuel to maintain itself. Surely Pedro had died at the moment of ecstasy when he entered the luminous tunnel. She regretted not having done the same. Now it would never again be possible to see the light because she could no longer feel anything. She would but wander through the shadows for eternity, alone, all alone. She would have to find some way, even if it wasn't an artificial one, of striking a fire that would light the way back to her origin and to Pedro. Sorry, that was really, really beautiful. I'm sorry. So, and a lot, I mean, I'm not going to, this is very long. But what I think in the movie was so beautifully pictured, like, just, you know, so she lights up from inside and she dies. She immolates herself pretty much from the inside. She is a match. She lights herself up.
Well, in the movie, she eats the matches.
Yeah, she eats the matches. That's right. She eats the matches, right? And she they spark inside of her, and she immolates herself, and
everything just fucking burns to the ground. You know what I did like though? So when she was really depressed about Pedro marrying her sister, because who wouldn't be? She was knitting or crocheting. She was, right, like this quilt. And then, like, when she was taken away to the, quote, crazy house, the quilt was, like, trailing behind the carriage. And then that's the quilt that she also covered herself in.
Yeah.
When she emulated herself.
And then we have the next scene is you find out that the woman at the beginning, who is pretty much the narrator, is her grandniece.
Yeah, it's Esperanza's daughter.
So.
Because then Esperanza comes back from her honeymoon to find the entire ranch like burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whew. Oh, God. Okay, so that's that.
It was a ride. It was a ride.
I mean, okay, so let's just go on. Let's talk about the movie. Let's give, like, yes or no to the movie, and then I can give yes or no to the book. How about that?
Okay. Yes to the movie with a couple caveats. First of all, understand that this was made in the 90s.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with, like, 90s style acting, you're dealing with 90s style special effects, and, like, it just is what it is. Okay? You just have to, like, suspend your sense of disbelief there. You're not getting a 2020 movie.
No.
You're getting a 1990s movie, okay? Also from, like, if you are a white person from America, understand that, like, this to me, when I watched the movie, I was like, this is some, like, you should be reading this in literature class kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
This is not like I'm going to pick this up as an easy romance read. This is like, you should have studied this in history class or like in a literature class in college or
and
whatever.
Understood the Mexican history that goes along with it.
And understood the Mexican history that went along with it, but then also studied magical realism, which we have not really gotten into. But when
we talk about it a little bit now.
Okay. So, magical realism is a 20th century style of fiction. It is heavily based in, or it's heavily used in Latin literature. It as a literary fiction style, magic realism paints a realistic view of the modern world while also adding magical elements, often dealing with the blurring of the lines between fantasy and reality. Magical realism, perhaps the most common term, refers to literature in particular with magical or supernatural phenomena presented in an otherwise real-world or mundane setting, commonly found in novels and dramatic performances.
Oh, I was going to say, I can see... So we were talking a little bit before we started. There's so many different cultures that I think take that. I mean, it is mostly well known for Latin American, but I also see it a lot in. You can see it a lot in African stories, also like novels and things, because they do have a lot of that magical realism that.
Like some sort of spiritual element, or like because one thing that we didn't really talk about during this episode, but Mama Elena comes back in the form of a ghost to continue to ridicule her daughter. And
she does in the book, too.
Fucking asshole. But there are magical elements, like the way that they even portray the first time that Tita and Pedro have sex. There's, like, literal sparks. It looks like someone filmed, like, the top of a campfire. You know, like the sparks that are still coming up from the wood. You know, and that happens again, like that same kind of imagery happens when when she emulates herself. So there's a lot of like, I described it when I was talking to Mr. Veronica about it. I talked about like lore, like there's just this element of like oral tradition that happens that I think is very prevalent in African cultures, in Hispanic cultures, and in Native American cultures that is less so for white Americans. That's just not as much of a part of our culture.
No, because I think there wasn't the oral, like we said, like oral tradition that other cultures had. as a way, because what they usually do, the white people usually just came over and took everything that they fucking wanted. And
Basically,
that was it.
Generalization, but that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, and whatever we wanted from, I would say probably of the white people, probably the only things that I would say are on par with that might be Druid culture. Like,
did you get the fly?
I did.
Oh my god.
FYI, I got it with my hand, guys, which is gross, but I got it with my fucking hand. I'm that fast. Anyhow, fastest hand in the West.
Yep, fastest draw in the West. Good job.
Yep. Anyhow,
excellent work, Ray.
Fucking met his maker. Anyhow, but I'm trying to think of like. I mean,
we've all heard stories of like our own ancestors and our own grandparents, our own great grandparents, but it's not the same. Like,
it's not steeped in tradition that like these other cultures are.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's just not the same.
No, and I think, Drew, just because I'm trying to think of something that's like that we as white people have taken, because we do that. We don't. Besides land, we take other people's cultures.
Cultures, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I was thinking something like, there's a reason why Christmas is a certain way because Druids had that certain point. Uh-huh. So, and I'm just, but I'm trying to think, and also like I don't know. I'm sitting here trying my drawing. Well, okay. So, Scandinavians. So with like Nordic.
Sure.
Mythology.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nothing like.
Nothing like.
No, not a whole
like what
culture.
we're dealing with here. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not in an American sense. Maybe in like a Scandinavian sense, and then you have like Scandinavians who have come here. Sure, Greek mythology, but again, that's not an American thing. That's a Greek thing. That maybe
agreed.
Come to America through immigrants.
Well, I was saying it like just as a white thing.
Oh, sure. Are Greeks white? They're white? I've never thought about it, to be honest.
I know. I honestly don't know. I don't know
what the
Mediterranean.
Maybe they don't want to say that they are. And I would not blame
I
them.
wouldn't either. But a good way to be like, I am not white. But yeah. So, I can't. I don't know where I was going with that one. But yeah,
we were talking about how like the traditions and the oral tradition specifically is just not. That's not a thing that is carried down through American white people.
Well, also Americans haven't. When you're looking at the grand scheme of things,
this country is 250 years old.
We are babies.
We're babies. I mean, we are maybe teenagers and petulant as teenagers. So like, it's not. It's just not the same. Like. It's just not the same.
We need to be grounded.
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
I mean, if you're talking about Native Americans, like that's again different. Like the white people came and stole everything, but
they did.
This is why I don't like Thanksgiving, you guys.
I just like turkey. Anyhow, I like turkey, and then being able to start to listen to Christmas music and not feel ashamed about it. Anyhow.
Oh, November 1st. I don't have any fucking shame about that. I
guess publicly, I should say public.
Skip over Thanksgiving entirely.
Oh, I think the last few years, my Christmas decorations have been up by Thanksgiving, at least.
If they're not up by, like, Black Friday is, like, the latest that I will put up my fucking Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going up. And it will stay up until Martin Luther King Day is, like, usually the day that I agree to finally take it down. But if I have my way, I would leave it up until, like, February.
Epiphany. I go that Catholic route.
Like, that's kind of acceptable. Like, what is that? Like, the 6th usually? January 6th?
Something
it's like a week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fair.
We should all remember it this year. January 6th. Jesus. Anywho. Yeah, white people. We're the greatest. Anywho.
So awesome.
No, I mean, I think there's something absolutely charming about magical realism. And I think that there is something so in depth and so captivating that unfortunately we will not like I said last week when we talked about a lot of audios, there's some things that I am not gonna unfortunately have a frame of reference because I'm white.
We're the white people.
And this is one of them. I mean, I can enjoy it and still get a lot from it, but I don't have that connection to it,
Right.
unfortunately, that I think those in these cultures have.
But it is beautiful. I mean,
It's fucking gorgeous.
it really is. So yeah, I would recommend the movie. But of course, like, just remember, I mean, there were definitely a couple points where I was like, what the fuck? But
Yeah.
you know, it's the 90s. Like, a genre that is not as prevalent in American culture. And so take that into account.
Yeah.
You know, like, just set aside that for a minute and try to appreciate, like, the genre that you're watching, because it really it is very cool.
And I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to agree. Also, Pedro's fucking hot.
He's very cute.
And, but I'm also going to say the book, if you, like, I read it, I obviously was reading for this and I had a few days to read it. Like, I was fast, you know, if you have time to sit down and really savor it, I think please do. I think it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's fucking gorgeous. And I can see why it won all the awards it won. I mean, look, you guys just heard it. I started tearing up.
Right.
It's like, it's beautiful. And, yeah, I don't know. Yes,
Probably
please
not
do.
appropriate for, like, a high school literature class because there's so much sex in it, but, like, or, like, discussions of sex. Do you think?
I don't know. I think so. I think it'd be
You
fine.
think it'd be okay?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't read the book, so.
They read, what the fuck, Faulkner and shit like that. No, I think it's fine.
Okay. I mean, I read The House of Spirits in high school.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been banned because of the sexual situations, but it's not like...
Let's hang on. Let's step back. It was not banned because that's the reason it was given. It was probably banned because a person of color wrote it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But the reason was sexual situations. However, there are sexual situations in Romeo and Juliet.
Right, I mean...
And I read that shit when I was 14.
There's no, like, in and out in there. Like, they're not talking about him, like, entering her or anything
It's
like
not
that.
like
So
a
it's
graphic sex scene.
No.
And therefore...
Right. What's the common denominator here?
What's the common denominator
Skin color.
between so many banned books?
Yes.
Let's just consider it for a fucking second.
Yep.
I'm not, like, maybe listening to this episode and maybe even our last episode, that we are the white people. We're not trying to, like, bash our own race or whatever, but, like, there's nothing, a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with, like, looking at your history and understanding how maybe it's not as perfect or as generous or as beautiful as the history books have pointed it out to be. Because let's remember that history books are written by the winners.
Right.
So, like, let's just take a moment to consider more perspectives. Because if you look at the banned book list, you will see mostly authors of color.
And honestly, if you're worried that you're going to feel guilt about it, maybe feel a little bit of guilt.
Maybe
you should. That's
maybe
fine.
accept that guilt.
Accept that guilt and just enjoy it for what it is. Not the guilt, but the book for what it is a beautiful, love letter to that time period and, Mexican history and this love that, transcends a whole lifetime. Enjoy that.
I think at the wedding, he even says, like, I have loved you for 22 years and I can finally be with you.
You find that a lot in magical realism too, is that it's always like that love that has been there forever, and they finally, and it's usually something tragic happens and they can't be together. But yeah, I would totally recommend. We did see something about trigger warnings. I honestly don't about the movie because Chencha got raised, but they don't show it or anything.
Like Chencha's like being like, well, I think
manhandled.
She's being manhandled. I think they show like her shirt being ripped open. So like. I didn't know how far that was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's mentioned in the book, but it's not graphic. But just to give you a heads up. And I should have given you a heads up, but I didn't think about it.
No, I just was like, whoa, I didn't expect that to be happening.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. But I mean, it's not... I've read romance novels that are worse than that. So, it does not go in depth into that.
No.
It's implied that it's happening and it's awful, but like it's not a lengthy, it's not lingered upon.
Right.
So if that's something that bothers you, just know like that's what you're kind of getting into. It's quick. you don't have to, they don't dwell on it. It is lovely.
Okay.
It is really lovely.
It is.
And I am glad that we, well, it was entirely your suggestion. I'm glad that we ended up covering this because it is something that looking back at, like, I think it was senior year. Yeah, it was senior year that we read The House of Spirits. Mm-hmm. And I understand why that one was chosen over this one. Mm-hmm. But in terms of, like, if you're going to look for a book on magical realism, like, or if you're going to look for some sort of Hispanic author to cover, this is a good one. I mean, it covers the history of the time, or at least it touches upon the history of the time. I believe The House of Spirits takes place before this. I think it's earlier in history. I think it's like the 1800s, earlier in the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. It's been many years since I've read it. Our friend Lee read it at one point because I had so highly recommended it. Obviously, all me. He had no choice in the matter. And he did say that he enjoyed it. It's kind of long. Like, I want to say 350 pages or so. Yeah,
and I want to say this one was really short. I mean,
yeah, it was only 250.
Well, the thing is, when I pulled it up, though, in my book, on my Kindle, it was 176. Okay. So I think they figure they're taking out the recipes pages.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I think the print version I saw, like the paperback, was like 250 pages. I mean, it's not long for a novel. No, not at all. So...
and on that same note, we're talking about magical realism and Mexican history. And I know it's a different genre, but I'm going to bring up Guillermo del Toro because he is a Mexican film director and producer, screenwriter, blah, blah, blah. You know him from Shape of Water. But I also want to bring up, because that's really has nothing to do with Mexican history. I do want to bring up a couple of his movies that, since we're getting into spooky season, but they do deal with Mexican history. So if there's something that you like, you kind of like creepy movies, but you also like Mexican history. Devil's Backbone is a fantastic. It's not super gory or anything like that, but it does take place during the Spanish Civil War. So and it gets into a lot. I mean, it's the last year of the Spanish Civil War, so you have that magical realism a lot in that too. Obviously, it's a horror movie, so you would have that in there.
I can't wait for my kid to start like when she gets to school and she takes history classes. You know, I'm going to read all the fucking history books.
Oh, yeah. Well, you should.
In part to double check them.
You should.
I've already told you that, like, so you're invited formally. Lee and I have already talked about how, like, we're going to have parties where, and by parties, I mean me and him sitting at the table drinking cocktails while our daughter, like, my daughter tells us what she's learning in history class. And then we sit there and, like, fact check it. And just, like, make sure that it's, like, up to snuff. And specifically about some more recent events to see.
I mean, she gets to that Civil War era. I'm available.
You're in it. You're in it. I will have you.
Like, I'm the expert on that one.
When you get to your unit on Civil War, Aunt Ray is coming over and we're going to discuss what was accurate. Also, let's watch Hamilton again, okay?
Which, unfortunately, not historically accurate, but that's fine. We'll take it.
That's okay.
It's fine.
That's a really good lesson on historical drama and how things can be dramatized for entertainment value, but how important it is to understand the difference between the entertainment media and the historical events.
Also, if it gets people excited about history, I'm all for it. So.
Let's do that. You want to get people excited about history? Fucking talk about Hamilton. Make that your starting point.
Yep.
Absolutely.
There's a reason I got a minor in this bitch, because I love it.
Holla. Anyhow. I fucking love history.
I do too.
I did not like it when I was younger. I didn't. Like when I was in school, I did not like it. But actually it was college when I started to get really interested in history.
Yeah, that's when it was like government and history for me. I mean, look, I started in high school. I hate to say it. I hope none of the teachers I had would listen to this, but I didn't have so much care. You guys were boring in high school.
Well, it's boring when you're just like, in this date, this happened. Like when you're doing it for memorization
no one
purposes.
wants to remember dates. No. And you know what? Now, that's not even like having to do remediation on state testing. Dates aren't even a big thing anymore.
Oh, good.
They just need you to know the
point. It's
fucking
pointless. Who cares?
fucking, who cares?
I mean, remember, like, the general time. You know, like, this happened in the 1800s. Yeah. This happened in, like, well, I don't know, when was the Declaration of Independence signed? 1776. We should probably all know that.
1776. Anyhow, speaking of Hamilton.
I absolutely hear it in my mind.
Yep.
1776. I mean, like, absolutely in my mind.
So, in case those are people in Ohio and want to know about the end of course exams for Ohio, good. The history exam, the American history exam, is actually from 1945 to the present.
So, post World War II.
Yep.
Seriously, nothing before that? Okay. I feel like maybe there's some important shit.
You have to know the important things like the Monroe Doctrine. You need to know the Bill of Rights. Certain documentation you need to know. But other than that, no.
Okay. Oh, God. Anywho. I feel like maybe there's an issue there. Like maybe a lesson as to why people have forgotten so many important things from World War II.
I don't know. Like
the rise of Hitler?
Well, Reconstruction would be a big thing on my list. Let's talk about that for a while.
Fucking hell. I think some things are clicking into place for me.
Yeah. Maybe that's an independent study for your child.
Do you really, I mean, honest to God, do you think that my kid is going to have summer reading that I will do with her? And also many independent studies. She's going to hate my guts. She's going to be trying to mime Elena me.
I knew a Montessori school that closed that you could have sent her to. Anywho.
She's going to be at, I'm not going to say, like, identifying features, but she's going to be at, like, Shay, insert name here, where, like, we go through a whole course load.
Well, I mean,
things that are important. I come from a line of teachers, award-winning teachers. And so, like, she's going to understand the history.
CCP it early, man. Mm-hmm. FYI, for you guys out there, BYU actually has a huge catalog of online courses that you can
Brigham
use for
Young.
college
Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's cool.
Huge. Yeah, it's a huge course list. We actually used at a certain high school that closed that I worked at. We used a number of them. That's how they used to do their credit recovery for some of their courses. Anywho,
cool.
Should we talk about what's happening and changes?
Yeah.
Changes.
Changes.
So.
Oh, Bowie.
Oh, R.I.P. I was actually thinking of that song Under Pressure today. I'm like, both of these people are dead.
Oh. Listen, Bowie and Freddie Mercury are people that are brought up semi-frequently in my house. Is the fly in your drink?
No, there's something else in my drink, though.
Perfect. First of all, my child dressed up as Freddie Mercury for Halloween a couple years ago. Not sorry. Everything was awesome. It was amazing. And then also, Bowie. Like, hello.
Should Luna and Bucky S. Barnes dress up like Freddie Mercury and Bowie for Halloween? Okay.
Yes.
I'll get Mama Ray on that.
Do it.
To make that outfit.
Mama Ray.
So this will probably be the last. No, it's not the last. Okay, so what we're doing is, guys, we need to take a little bit of a break of every week.
The thing is, when we started this podcast, we were like, every other week is what we can do. Like that, we both have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
We have things to do.
We have lives. Yeah.
We have things. And then recently we were like, hey, how did we get a weekly podcast? Because remember when we said it would be like bi-weekly?
Yeah.
And now it's weekly. Shit.
I blame Passion Flicks, but
Oh yeah, for sure. Do you want to blame Tosca?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, us tall blondes got to stick together, but yeah. So for right now, what we're gonna do is P2S is going to be sporadic. It's not going to be every week.
Every other, it won't be like an every other week kind of
deal. Right
maybe
now.
Once a month or so.
Yeah. It just happens that I think in the next coming up, we are lying to you, but so what's coming up? So we'll just give you a heads up of what we're looking at for this next book is the Abbe Jimenez book, the
Happily
Ever After playlist.
Yes.
And then we are going to take a break. And then we're coming in with an arc of one of our dearest friends.
Oh my God, Lucy Monroe.
She's amazing.
She's so sweet. Her arc of His Majesty's Royal Heir. So if you go back and you listen to, it would have been episode 11.5 of Queen by Royal Appointment. We also got an ARC of that. So she reached out to us and she was like, hey, the next one's coming out, which we were super excited about. Like, I think it was after that book, we were asking, like, what happens to Konstantinos?
Yeah.
And she was like, you will find out. Don't worry.
And we're going to. I'm very excited.
And we are going to, because we have our ARC copies.
Yeah.
So we'll do that on October 19th. And that book releases, I think, on October 26th. So we'll do ours just before it comes out. I'm super excited.
I am very excited. Also adore that woman. I can't wait to some point meet her and give her the biggest hug on the planet.
I want to hug her so bad.
Yeah. We love you, Lucy.
We do love you, Lucy. Okay, so then probably our plan actually is on the 26th, because we wanted to do a spooky one. So page to screen for October 26th is going to be Warm Bodies.
Yay! I'm so excited.
So I would like to read Warm Bodies, and then we will watch the movie and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
After that, let's not talk about November yet, because we're hoping to have a guest back. We're hoping to have Lee back.
Well, I can easily probably say, so there's going to be two. It'll probably be Lee's book, the book we do with Lee, and then we do have a book at the end of the month from an African writer.
Yeah, the South African
talking
writer.
about magical realism.
Oh, is it really?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
It's about magic and everything. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and I can't think of the name of it right now, so I'm not going to try to,
in our schedule, It literally says the South African one.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember the name of it.
I'd have to look at my NetGalley, because it is an arc, so it's an arc for us. Yeah.
Yeah, so that will be November probably. It's like hopefully having Lee back to discuss one, and then the South African one. And then in December, we're going to do probably a Christmas one and a Hanukkah one.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about Page to Screen, because at that point, possibly Passion Flix will have released maybe shorts.
Yeah, and that would be fun, because that's quick.
So before we go, speaking of, we're talking about Page to Screen and things coming up. I think we need to talk about the elephant in the room right now.
Bridgerton?
Yes. And then also I want to just go off a little bit about the fucking controversy that's happening.
Yeah, because you asked me if I knew about this controversy, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so let's just first takes on so today, because there's, what is it called? Tadam, I think it was called. There's something that's out. It's like it's a fan convo on Netflix. Like Netflix is releasing previews of The Witcher, Doom Patrol.
I need to watch The Witcher.
I liked it a lot. I mean, it's fucking Henry Cavill. I liked it. I don't know if you'd like. I don't know. I don't
care. I'm gonna watch it. Henry Cavill.
I'm just saying. I don't know. It's got it's medieval, and there's witches and shit. I don't know. I like that stuff, but
why not?
I mean, it's based on a video game. Whatever.
Oh, well, then my husband will probably like it.
It's a video game, and then they made Mr. Veronica, and they made it into a book. Then I think, I don't know, whatever. I'm not gonna read it. Doesn't matter. Again, Henry Cavill without a shirt on. Hello.
Yep.
He fucks a lot in that movie or that show too. I mean, he fucks a couple times. Oh.
I'm not sorry.
No. So not sorry. I'm trying to think of what else they previewed. But Bridgerton was one. They released the first scene, or the first a preview from of Anthony
and Kate. Catherine. Is it Kate or Catherine?
It's Kate.
Okay.
Yeah. And I, having read the book, fucking loved it. I loved it. I loved their chemistry.
I can't wait to read it. I'm waiting until we're closer to the season being released.
So, and we'll decide what we're gonna, guys. We'll decide what we're gonna do with that, because if you remember what we did for the Duke and I, it was a huge ass long episode, and I don't know. It was. I think we should separate it. I think we should do book, maybe, and then we do a Page to Screen for.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
and it is, you know, and it's going to be interesting. It'll be very interesting. But the joke is on Twitter is the last shot of Anthony, of Jonathan Bailey. He looks at the camera. Pretty. He turns around and he has this look like, the fuck? And it's like at that moment, Anthony fell in love with Kate, and I'm like, yeah, you can see it. It's like, watch it again because you're like, yes.
I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, and I know where it is in the book, and I'm like,
some time passes, right?
No.
No? Like, well, wait.
No.
Time between the first and the second book. How much time passes?
Not much.
Oh, wait. Is it a new season? It's like the next season of... It's like probably the next summer, right?
Yes. Yeah, because the Sharma sisters are new to town. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like... because the season is like the beginning of the summer and...
It's when Parliament is in session. I've learned, I mean, I remember hearing that, but then I learned it in the book that I just finished. They were talking about every time it's the season is when Parliament is in session.
What the fuck does that mean?
Because then all of like the lords and everything are in like it's like Congress. It'd be like Congress.
Well, yes, I understand what.
But
Parliament
like if
means.
but no, but like if season would be if when Congress was in session.
Okay, so how often is fucking Parliament in session?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I'm about to have a fucking rant about how they need to work more. All right. British listeners, please talk to us. Yes, British listeners, please talk to us about how often Parliament is in session.
Okay. I'm looking to see if there's something going to tell me, like, really quickly, like...
Also, there could be differences because, like, this is not taking place in 2021.
Right. I mean, like, I don't know what it... Anyhow. So... Yay!
Also, so I tweeted earlier today. I retweeted the Bridgerton, like the first scene or whatever. Just with the words "here for it" with popcorn and wine. # Bridgerton Canthony. Queen Penny Reed liked that tweet. Currently, the only person.
It's okay.
Who has liked that tweet, other than me from my personal account, and we died, just so you know.
Yep.
We died.
So another thing I want to tell you that you're going to get very excited about, there's a corgi in this book.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kate has corgis, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, Kate has a corgi. And I forgot the name of the corgi, but he's a little fat corgi, and he plays quite a bit of a part. Because at one point, Anthony has to go running after him and falls in the lake, I think? Yeah. So
does he come out of the lake like Colin Firth?
I don't remember. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
It's supposed to come out in January. So, but they've also had
hopefully,
they've had
because they were
filming
talking
delays because they've had COVID shutdowns and whatnot.
Well, somebody posted on Twitter like there actually hasn't been a quote unquote date release because they said, oh, we know that the Queen is coming out April 2020, 22. No date on Bridgerton. So, yeah. Okay. Anyhow.
So, basically what we'll end up doing is we'll pencil in, like, when we finally have a release date for the next season of Bridgerton, we will pencil in The Viscount Who Loved Me. Yeah. And then the page to screen will be Bridgerton. I think that's a good idea.
So, the big controversy is everyone's like, I don't know. It's these people who are fickle, I think. Everyone's like, well... After this season, then the show's gonna be garbage. It's like, so everybody who's like, I guess,
people who don't want to deal with Benedict.
No, it's not even just that. Benedict and Sophie and Colin and Penelope. And I'm gonna be like, listen, if you were true fans,
there's too much of like.
It's getting violent.
Stan.
It's getting violent. Like people are like,
but Pollen Twitter is like. So passionate. I disagree. Like, people who think that
you and me
dicks.
are both. Right, like, I don't really care. I'm not excited about the Benedict book. I will read it a year from now when we get there. I'm not going to read it before then. However, I've read Penelope and Colin's book 4,000 times because every time I read it, parts of it, I'm like, oh my God, I need to finish this. I need to read it again. So don't give me this bullshit. Obviously, you're not fans. That's the thing. It's like, you're not fans.
You're not fans of the book. Like, you're not fans of the series. You're not fans of like Colin, I guess. I mean, I just don't.
The series.
Right. Like,
because it's the same way. It's like everybody with Sir Philip.
You just want to watch fucking what's his name again? Ray Jean
Jonathan
Page.
Bailey.
Oh,
Ray Jean Page. Yeah.
Who is not in the second season.
No, and he doesn't need to be, because honestly, even in Colin's book, Daphne shows up. Simon's not in that book at all. Daphne is. I mean, he's a fucking duke. He's like doing shit.
He's got shit to do.
He's got shit to do. He's got a parliament to be in. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. We suck. Please tell us more about English history.
I should know this. So that's the big controversy. It is getting fucking heated.
Okay, everyone needs to calm down. In the words of my girl Taylor Swift, you need to calm down.
Even Tessa Dare was like, "This is ridiculous, guys." Yeah, when you piss off the queen, Tessa Dare, come on.
Yeah, like the queen of historical romance, aside from like Eloisa James.
My girl, and my girl
and
Lisa.
Amanda Quick. Oh my God, there are so many of them. We need a court.
I know. Yeah, they're all queens in my heart.
They're all queens.
Queens. So yeah, they're all getting pissed. I was like, guys, calm down. It's gonna be enjoyable. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be
fine.
It's a romantic history. Come on, it's gonna be enjoyable. It doesn't matter. You need to visit back with your couples that you enjoyed from the season before, because that's the way Bridgerton is.
We're gonna get to see Jonathan Bailey. Okay, so everyone shut your whore mouths. Jonathan Bailey as the Viscount, okay? And then we're also going to get to see other beautiful men. And then we will also see incredible fucking costumes.
Yep.
And beautiful imagery. Okay, listen, Shonda Rhimes, I have some issues with her, but she knows what she is fucking doing. Mm-hmm. So I really do have faith in Shonda Rhimes.
After seeing that clip today, I was like, I am not worried in the least. You're gonna do this, because this is like I've said this. You guys have heard me say this about 4,000 times. It's Colin and it's Anthony's books are my favorites. Mm-hmm. You are not gonna. I was like, she ain't gonna do me wrong. Nope. This is gonna be great.
Shonda is not gonna do you wrong. She really won't.
I was.
Now she will kill everyone you love. However,
she won't with these because she can't.
She can't, right?
But. When we found out there was gonna be a Kate Sharma, I was like,
I was super excited about that.
I was so fucking on board.
Oh my God! Speaking of, the third season of Sex Education just came out. I haven't seen any of it. I want to watch it. Oh, that's right.
She's on it, isn't she?
Yes, I love that show. That show is so good.
Well, it was funny because Nicola Coughlan,
the one who plays Penelope,
was talking about how she's like, guys, I'm going back to being Dairy Girls, but they're waiting for me to finish up Bridgerton this season, and then I'm going to go put on my green sweater. I've not watched that show. It's on my, to watch. But, yeah, I knew when we saw who Kate Sharma was going to be, I was like, she can fucking get it.
She's beautiful.
Oh, God, she's gorgeous. And, because this whole season, so the crux of Anthony's book is Anthony actually wants to marry her sister.
Right.
And she's like, fuck no, you ain't. You're a rake because you've been fucking opera singer. Because she walks in on him fucking an opera singer, the opera singer from the first season.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that's why I said there's an overlap, because obviously he cuts ties with her at the end of that. So she's already met him when this comes the season starts. So yeah. So it's one of those. This book is like, if you want some female empowerment, this is your fucking season.
Very excited.
And guess what? There's no rape, so I'm excited about that.
Perfect. Very excited about that.
Yeah. Anyhow, so that's my rant on Bridgerton season 2.
I'm excited about it. I truly am excited about it. Also, I never know what day it is or the month, apparently, because earlier today I was like, yeah, October. No, it's not. It's currently September.
We're so close. We're so close to spooky season. I'm itching. I'm itching to put some decorations up, but I said,
Do it.
Nay, you will wait till October 1st.
Ugh, whatever. I support you. You want to put decorations up? Do it.
I got to prepare.
All right.
I have a lot of decorations. This is my first time putting decorations in my new house.
It's true. It's true. Just see if my kid wants to do any decorations for Halloween. I've asked her multiple times what she wants to be, and she just keeps telling me a lamb. I'm like, what?
I kind of love that.
This makes no fucking sense, but if that's what you want to, but it does.
You could
Silence of the.
I was gonna put you a little like a little black mark on her mouth. Have a lamb stop screaming, Clarice. No one ever said to him, you said Chianti weird. You said Chianti weird. We know that, right? It's Chianti, not Chianti, right? Right? But no one's ever going to say that to Sir Anthony Hopkins.
No, of course not.
I would. That'd be the first thing I said. I'd be like, I love you, Tony.
You definitely would.
I'd be like, I love you, Tony, but you said Chianti weird.
And I would make a TikTok out of it.
Because he'd be like... affronted. I'd be like, there's no reason to be fronted. I'm fronting, and you're not fronting. I mean, come on, let's do this.
Let's discuss this, please.
All right, I'm gonna let you go because we should.
Fuck, it's 12:30.
Right, and it's almost 2 hours. Is it 2 hours? We're at 2 hours.
Yep, we are at 2 hours. Of course, you and I can talk about a movie for 2 hours. It's fine.
Yeah, but you know what, guys? You didn't have to sit through commentary, so enjoy that.
Because you would have. I'm actually super
and that should have been our indication.
Commentary.
Well, that should have been our indication that maybe like we should scale back when we're like, let's do some commentary.
Yeah,
it was mostly just you and I want to spend time with each other.
Yeah, you know what we could do? Just Zoom and watch movies together.
We could do that.
We could just do that.
And then Mr. Veronica could also be in.
That's true. Mr. Veronica could also be involved.
Instead of an episode, well, next week we have an episode, but the next week after that, we'll watch a movie together.
Zoom and watch Ted Lasso together.
Yes. I was like, I grabbed onto something. I was like, yes. Let's do that. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay.
Well, next week it won't be because we're going to be talking about.
No, I said after this
playlist, but
the weekend we should have been doing a movie. We will do Lasso together.
Ted Lasso.
TL in the house. Oh, can we talk about their fucking Emmy streak and
Emmy extravaganza?
All of the Emmys. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, seriously, that photo of Jamie Tart and Roy Kent on the red carpet at the Emmys. Who said that was okay? Who took that photo?
My vagina was okay with it.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I actually saw today there was a video on IMDb where you and it was ask each other anything, and it was Hannah and God, what's Coach Beard's real name? Brandon, and Nate's real name is shit. I can't think of his name right now. Nick, and the three of them were asking each other they could ask anything they wanted.
Oh God.
And Nick is so freaking cute. Nick Muhammad is adorable. Because he just looks so like a child in Ted Lasso. Mm-hmm. FYI, don't know what's happening in Nate's character. Anywho, that's all I'm gonna say. But he's he actually had his hair done and styled, and he's just the cutest little thing. Because he's tiny. I mean, he's short.
Yeah, he's very short. So
I can see that because I'm almost 6 foot tall. So, I mean, I'd still throw a leg over it in a heartbeat. He's married. It's fine.
That's what it is.
But Brandon asked Hannah what was he's like, I know you dated a footballer. What was it really like having sex with a footballer? And she's like, I went to dinner with one. She's like, I didn't go past dinner. She's absolutely fucking gorgeous and lovely, and I want to dress like her for Halloween. So that is who I'm going to be. I'm going to be Rebecca.
I love Rebecca so much.
Rebecca goes through some things this season, so...
That the first episode where Roy Kent is like...
Oh my God. Don't settle for fucking fine.
Don't settle for fucking fine.
There's some things... I can't wait for you... Oh my God, I can't wait for you to get...
I would say maybe... I already loved Roy Kent, but the moment that I fell in love with Roy Kent was when he was like... Don't settle for fucking fine.
That's when every woman who enjoys men, they came because they were
a little bit.
Oh my.
Did you see there was a did I send this to you? There was an interview with what's his name, Brett Goldstein. Is that his name? Mm-hmm. I don't know what talk show it was on, but they had interviewed him, and he is a writer for the show, and so he was like,
yeah.
There came a point while we were writing that I was like, I don't know, I think I'm Roy Kent.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
And so he made an audition video and sent it to the rest of the writers, and he was like, hey, if you think, I think I'm Roy Kent. But if you disagree, that's fine. Just ignore this. We'll act like it never happened. But if you think I'm Roy Kent, then I think we need to talk about this.
Because there's a Roy Kent inside that's growling to get out.
Yes.
I was like, yes.
And I cannot picture anyone else as Roy Kent. I really, really can't.
No. I mean...
Does Mariana Zapata know that basically he's culty?
If she doesn't, we should let her know.
I know. I don't know if, like, she has seen it yet. Because
if she recognizes that. Yeah. Because especially when you see him with the kids.
With the kids when he starts coaching. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You can't call them pricks to their face.
Gives them all trophies. Yeah, just he just throws the box of trophies at them. Oh. Phoebe.
She's funny.
Oh my god, I'm telling you though, this past episode fucking got me, but the one not Coach Beard's episode, which is great, but the one right before that is the one with the hug heard around the world.
Still haven't gotten there.
Oh, you will, and you'll text me and be like, I got there. That's what we should watch. We should watch that one.
Okay. Which episode is that?
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
7?
Well, we'll figure it out.
Because
I think we just watched the second one, so we're fairly behind.
Yeah.
I want to savor it. I don't want to just binge through it. Of course, I can just watch it again, but still.
Right.
I have seen... Did you see Hassan Minaj is going to be on the 3rd season of The Morning Show?
No, huh?
That just was released, so I'm pretty excited about that. I need to start watching it. Maybe I'll have time. One day.
That's why we're taking a step back, guys.
That is why we're taking a step back.
All right.
I'm excited to maybe see my husband.
I'm excited to see your husband now, too. So now we're going to...
I'm really excited about it. One day we should invite Lee. He's got to catch up first.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll see Lee soon.
I hope so. Yeah, we need to nail that down. Like,
all right, let's
all
let
the
these
furniture
beautiful
in my
people...
household because I have a toddler.
Oh, I have 2 dogs.
Similar situation.
I just did a Roy Kent growl.
Okay, we should let these beautiful people go. We will see y'all, hopefully. Well, not see you. Well, hopefully you'll hear our voices. I was going to say beautiful voices, but I don't know if that's always true. Our dulcet tones. Next week,
in a week,
when we talk about the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. I'm really excited. This was like maybe the first book that you put on our list. It's at the very fucking top of that spreadsheet. So I'm really excited because I did want to read it.
It looked really good. It looked enjoyable. So
I'm excited about it. So anywho, how do we... Oh, we should probably tell people where to find us. We should probably be responsible.
I have it pulled up.
Do you want to tell people where to find us? Please do.
Sure. Let me do that. So our website is... Do it. ChickLitBookClubPodcast.com. Our Twitter is @ChickLitPodcast. Our TikTok is Chicklit Book Club. Please check out our TikTok because Veronica is now going to be posting a couple of some Tiki Talks.
I posted 2 today.
2. And then also, FYI, Chris Hemsworth follows us on Pinterest.
Yeah.
Really like Chris Hemsworth. Which is the Chicklit Book Club Podcast. Our email, in case you want to talk to us, please do. ChicklitBookClubPodcast@gmail.com. Our Instagram is Chicklit Book Club Podcast. YouTube is a link. Facebook is Facebook. Our Patreon. Our Patreon, if you search for Chicklit Book Club Podcast on Patreon, you'll find us. Our website is gonna... I had to rehab it because things are behind because we don't have a lot. We don't
have a production team, you guys. It's just me and Ray.
Yeah. So
and also I do nothing with the website. It's all Ray. So she has no help in that regard.
No, and so it will be updated, but like right now, probably the most updated part is the recommendations and reviews. Which please go and read the reviews.
I need to.
We enjoy writing them.
I did start writing the one for the cherry publishing
I see it
book.
in there. Yeah,
I started writing it. I have not finished it.
Yeah,
I probably need to pare it back.
Oh, and one thing I'm going to start doing, so you guys, just a little thing, is I keep saying I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Is I am going to I'm going to start watching Miss Scarlet and the Duke. And start rating reviews of that show.
That's fun. Oh, yeah, you told me about that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, kids. How do we end this?
Oh, God, in the most obnoxious way possible. Like, why are you guys even here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do this for ourselves, guys.
We do it for ourselves. Bye!
Bye! I could keep going, but I'll stop. I'll fucking stop. Because your eardrums are bleeding.
No, they're not. I just can't believe I was like dying because you were still going. Your lung capacity is so incredible.
Well, we were both singers, but yeah.
I know, but I don't think I could have done that.
I could have kept going.
Oh my God. I know, you laughed afterward. That's so fucking impressive. Oh my God. I'm like, as like a former singer, like super fucking impressed, but then like also as your friend, I'm like, God damn, girl, with your fucking lung capacity. COVID, you like kick COVID's ass.
I take to the curb and said, fuck you.
Fuck you. Don't you dare mess with my lung capacity. Also, when are we getting tattoos?